Alright, in this video we're going to be showing you some tips and tricks on how to properly silicone. So one of the most important parts of siliconing is your tip and how much silicone you're putting on while you're applying it. Because if you have too much silicone, it's going to be hard to wipe off and it's not going to look professional and clean. You're going to be wiping off a bunch of silicone and it's not going to look great. And another thing to create that situation where you don't put a ton of silicone on is a lot of guys will take a knife and just like cut off a big chunk of this tip here. We usually don't even cut it off unless we need to fill in big gaps. But generally if we're just filling in small little areas like around shower valves and stuff like that, or even around sinks or anything, we just leave the tip as is. We don't cut off the tip. If it is a tip that needs to be cut off, just cut off as little as you can so you just have a tiny bit of silicone coming out. Alright, so now that you know the basics of siliconing, let's just quickly show you how to properly apply it and clean it and make it look nice and professional. Let's do this. Alright, so one thing I forgot to mention is you're going to want to make sure you have a nice clean surface around here before you start siliconing. If you have any dirt and debris in here, it's going to just make it harder to silicone and have more chances of water seeping through there. So now that we have our tip nice and short, everything's clean, we're going to start applying the silicone. But what you want to do when you're doing this is you want to pull the trigger on your silicone gun and have it smooth all the way around. So it's going to be just like a pull the trigger smoothly all the way around on one kind of as much of a continuous motion as possible so you're not making a bunch of smear smudges. And then afterwards we'll wipe it off and make it look nice and clean. So like I said, we're going to start kind of up top and then just start pulling that trigger and try to get it as much of a smooth. And I had to stop there, but that's fine. Generally I'll just come back down around here and get that smooth one motion. Now that the silicone is applied, what I like to do is take my finger and just go in kind of sections and wipe it with my finger, and then I use a rag to wipe it onto the rag. Just take off little sections like that, and I'm just trying to make it look as clean as possible so I don't see a bunch of smear marks. You're always going to be able to see a little bit of silicone marks, but then you know at least it's doing its job. But the better it looks, the better it is. Alright, so that's the basics of siliconing. Some of the places you're going to want to do this is, like I said, on the shower valves, your tub spouts, or just anywhere where you think water can get in between something like a sink, underneath between your sink and your countertop. Generally we use DAP there, but you could silicone that, or underneath with your wherever water is going to be an issue, you're going to want to use silicone. And just make sure that you're wiping it off like we said. If you guys have any questions at all, please let us know.